January 23, 2026, a date that will be remembered for years to come, not just in legal textbooks, but in the daily lives of millions of Americans and people around the world. On this day, the Supreme Court, in a dramatic 6-3 emergency ruling, made a decision that reverberated far beyond the marble steps of the courthouse. With a single judgment, the United States was pulled out of the Global Digital Compact, a move that stunned both allies and adversaries alike. This isn't just a legal technicality, it's a seismic shift in how America interacts with the digital world. The gavel's echo signaled a new era, one filled with uncertainty and debate. The Global Digital Compact, signed by over 150 nations, was more than just paperwork. It set ambitious global standards for data privacy, cybersecurity, and the ethical use of artificial intelligence. For years, it represented a shared vision for a safer, more connected digital future. Now, with America charting its own course, the world is left to react. Allies are scrambling to adjust their strategies, and tech giants are urgently reviewing their global operations. The sense of uncertainty is palpable in boardrooms and government offices alike. The decision has sent shockwaves through international relations and the tech industry. Markets are jittery, and diplomats are holding emergency meetings to assess the fallout. The ripple effects are only just beginning. For ordinary Americans, the impact is immediate and personal. Your data, your work, and America's global reputation are all suddenly in flux. Questions about privacy, security, and digital rights are now front and center. The court's conservative majority argued that the treaty infringed on Congress's constitutional authority, insisting that such sweeping agreements require legislative approval. Meanwhile, the liberal justices issued a stark warning. This move could isolate America digitally, leaving it out of crucial global conversations. This is more than a headline, it's a turning point for a generation. Young people, business leaders, and policymakers are all grappling with what this means for the future of technology, privacy, and America's place in the world. Tonight, we break down what this historic ruling means for you, for the country, and for the world at large. The implications are vast, touching everything from international trade to the apps on your phone. The digital age just changed course, perhaps forever. The question now is, are we ready for what comes next? The world is watching, and the future is unwritten. To truly understand today's landmark ruling, we need to rewind the clock and revisit the turbulent digital era that led us here. The story of the Global Digital Compact is one of global ambition, national anxieties, and the struggle to balance innovation with security. Over the past decade, the world was rocked by relentless digital chaos. Massive data breaches exposed millions, hackers targeted critical infrastructure, and foreign interference threatened the integrity of elections. The rapid rise of artificial intelligence brought new opportunities, but also unprecedented risks, from deepfakes to automated surveillance. Misinformation spread like wildfire, and cybercrime became a daily headline. In response, nations scrambled to protect their citizens, but their approaches clashed. Europe enforced strict privacy with GDPR, China built digital walls to control information, and America's patchwork of state and federal laws left gaps. Other countries, like India and Brazil, launched their own digital initiatives, while global South nations demanded a voice in shaping the rules. Recognizing the urgent need for a unified approach, the United Nations stepped in, convening years of intense negotiations. Diplomats from every continent debated, compromised, and drafted what would become a new global digital rulebook. In 2024, after years of talks, the Global Digital Compact was born. It promised universal data rights for all, robust global cybersecurity standards, and ethical guidelines for artificial intelligence. The compact aimed to protect privacy, foster innovation, and ensure technology served humanity, not just powerful interests. The United States played a key role in shaping the compact, but as soon as the ink dried, controversy erupted at home. Lawmakers, pundits, and citizens questioned whether the agreement went too far. Critics from across the political spectrum called it an overreach, warning that it would surrender American sovereignty to international bodies and potentially stifle the nation's innovative edge. Tech companies worried about new restrictions, while privacy advocates demanded even stronger protections. The real fight began when the compact was signed as an executive agreement, bypassing the Senate's traditional treaty ratification process. This move sparked outrage among constitutional scholars and lawmakers alike. Lawsuits quickly followed, led by a group called Americans for Digital Sovereignty. They argued that only Congress had the authority to bind the nation to such sweeping international rules. Their case centered on the Constitution, claiming the executive branch had overstepped its bounds and that the people's representatives must have a say in such transformative agreements. The legal battle escalated rapidly, rocketing all the way to the Supreme Court. The nation watched as the highest court prepared to weigh in on this historic question. The stage was set for a constitutional showdown that would determine not just the fate of the compact, but the future of digital governance in America. And now, as the Supreme Court delivers its decision, the consequences are real, immediate, and will shape the digital world for generations to come. The Supreme Court's decision landed fast, 6-3, along ideological lines. The majority, led by Chief Justice Roberts, ruled the compact was a treaty in all but name, requiring Senate approval. The administration's executive agreement shortcut, they said, was unconstitutional. The dissent, led by Justice Sotomayor, argued the digital world moves too fast for old rules. America needs flexibility to protect its interests. As of today, federal agencies can't enforce the compact's privacy, cybersecurity, or AI standards. The U.S. is now outside the global digital framework, leaving a legal vacuum. The court didn't just interpret law, it redrew America's digital borders. The fallout is immediate and far-reaching. The majority's opinion is a declaration of national sovereignty. Chief Justice Roberts framed the issue as constitutional, not technological. Only Congress, not the president, can make binding international commitments that reshape domestic law. The court warned against unchecked executive power, especially in foreign affairs. The compact's sweeping rules, they argued, must come from elected lawmakers. Justice Gorsuch suggested even tighter limits on executive agreements in the future. The message: America's laws won't be dictated by international consensus. Congress can still act, but the president's hands are tied. The court has built a constitutional wall around America's digital policy. Sovereignty, not global integration, now rules the day. The dissent, led by Justice Sotomayor, sounded the alarm. In a borderless digital world, isolation is dangerous. The compact, they argued, was about protecting Americans from global cyber threats and disinformation. The majority's rigid approach, they warned, leaves the U.S. exposed and businesses trapped in a legal maze. American data abroad now loses protection. Tech companies face chaos. The dissent saw this as a retreat from global leadership, ceding ground to authoritarian regimes. Their vision: America as a global partner, not a digital island. That vision, for now, is on hold. This ruling hits home in ways you'll notice. Your data privacy, no longer protected by strong, uniform federal rules. Now it depends on where you live. Tech companies must juggle conflicting laws, risking fewer services or weaker protections for Americans. The internet could become more fragmented, less seamless. Cybersecurity takes a hit. The US is out of global threat-sharing networks, making it harder to fight cyber attacks. Your risk of data breaches just went up. On AI, the US exits the global conversation on ethics and bias. American innovation continues, but without international guardrails. The result? A race to the bottom, with fewer checks on how technology shapes our lives. The digital world just got riskier and more confusing. The impact is personal, immediate, and profound. The rules have changed, overnight. The economic shockwaves are real. Tech stocks plunged as uncertainty gripped the markets. US giants like Google and Apple now face a regulatory minefield overseas and chaos at home. Compliance costs will soar, profits may fall, and smaller businesses could be crushed by complexity. The US has erected a digital trade barrier. Other nations may retaliate, sparking a new kind of trade war. Small startups could be locked out of global markets. America's tech leadership, built on an open internet, is at risk. Investment and talent may shift to countries with stable digital rules. The decision meant to protect sovereignty could weaken the economy it aimed to defend. The stakes for American prosperity have never been higher. For clarity and deeper understanding, we turn to Dr. Evelyn Reed, a renowned constitutional law expert with decades of experience analyzing Supreme Court decisions and their far-reaching consequences. Dr. Reed describes this ruling as one of the most significant separation of powers cases to emerge in recent decades, a decision that will likely shape the relationship between the branches of government for years to come. According to Dr. Reed, the court has drawn a bright and unmistakable line. Any international agreement that has a direct impact on domestic law must be approved by the Senate. This reaffirms the Senate's constitutional role and limits the executive branch's ability to act unilaterally on the world stage. The majority's view, she explains, is clear. Structure and constitutional process must take precedence over speed or convenience, even in urgent situations. But the dissenting justices, Dr. Reed notes, argued passionately for greater agility, warning that in a fast-moving, interconnected world, rigid procedures could lead to paralysis. The result, she says, is a legal landscape filled with uncertainty and the potential for chaos. With the federal government's hands tied, states may now attempt to fill the void by crafting their own policies, or perhaps no one will, leaving a patchwork of rules and widespread confusion across the country. Dr. Reed predicts a wave of lawsuits as businesses, advocacy groups, and even tech companies scramble to adapt. Ironically, those who once pushed for quick solutions may now regret the instability this ruling has unleashed. The responsibility now shifts to Congress. Lawmakers have the power to pass new legislation or formally ratify the international compact, but Dr. Reed warns that deep political divisions make decisive action unlikely in the near future. The Supreme Court has answered a fundamental constitutional question, but in doing so, it has left behind a complex political and practical mess that will take time to resolve. As a result, America's digital future now hangs in legislative limbo, with critical decisions about technology, privacy, and international cooperation left unresolved. For now, the next move belongs to Congress, and the nation waits to see what happens next. This Supreme Court decision is just the beginning. America stands at a digital crossroads: global cooperation or digital isolation. The tech industry scrambles, states may create a patchwork of laws, and confusion reigns for businesses and consumers. The issue will dominate politics in the coming elections. Congress could act, pass a federal privacy law, or ratify the compact, but polarization makes that a steep climb. This is about more than data. It's about America's role in the world. Do we build walls or bridges in the digital age? The answer won't come from the court, but from the people and their representatives. The digital future is unwritten. What happens next is up to us.